Okay, so today I want to talk about dating, my experiences with dating, some friends' experiences with dating, and the difference between dating in the West and China. So in the West, we all kind of know it. It's very much like you are a macho bad boy and you can get the girl. If you're a nice guy, you finish last, and that's mainly because girls don't like these guys that are nice with little to no confidence or have not a lot of like macho-ness about them. So to be nice, you're just kind of like lacking in macho-ness. But if you're a macho nice guy, that's basically perfect for like most girls. And I know that like in the Western world, it sometimes feels like you have to play games in order to get a girl to like you. And this is not fun for anyone. Like any boy trying to like woo a girl and he has to play a bunch of games, that's not great. Like I hate that the most. I literally like see the games that have to be played and I'm like, no thank you, goodbye. So that's something. Another big difference, I haven't even said anything about the Chinese scene yet, but a big difference is the friend zone. So in the Western world, you'll be friend zoned if they don't like you, and they just kind of say it in a way that's kind of crushing. Like, you're a nice guy, but I think we're better as friends. This isn't as nice as someone in China would say it, I feel. In China, they kind of say something like, I like you, but you're not the kind of person I want to be married to. You're not the kind of person I'm looking for, but thank you for telling me like how you feel. I really appreciate it. Because the Chinese are very direct about how they feel and how they think. I feel it's very respectful because you open your heart to these girls and then they're just like, thank you for telling me this, I very much appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't feel the same. Which is, it's more me to hear that than to hear we're better as friends. And I feel it's nicer to be told directly that they just don't like you than to be told, like, you're nice, I like you, but I want someone like you, but not you. Let's just be friends. You know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean. Anyway, so the West just feels like a bunch of, like, just useless, boring, annoying games and stuff just to get a girl to like you. And you have to be macho about it all as well, which is ridiculous. But there is one thing that saves everyone, even the introverts, and that's Tinder and dating websites. Dating apps and dating websites will always be around, and they're everywhere. I've used Tinder before because why would I not? It's when you're a busy student with not much free time, it's easier to use Tinder to try and find someone than it is to try and find someone through like a pub or a club. And I feel like in the West there's more of that, like going to a club just to pick up a girl and have a one-night stand. I don't think the Chinese people very much appreciate one-night stands. But again, this is sort of like culture. Like, there will be girls who would like a one-night stand with you, and that's fine. But not every girl is like that. So what's the Chinese scene like, I guess? Well, I have some experience with this because my girlfriend is Chinese, and I met her in China. And we're mutually breaking up soon. So I'll talk about that more soon. But for this bit, it's just like, I know some of it. And I've got friends who will tell me their dating experiences as well. Some are a bit weird, some are not so weird, but whatever. So in China, Chinese girls are very direct, they're really easy to talk to, they're very nice, and yeah, there's not much else to say about that. If you tell them you like them, they'll like you back, or they'll just tell you, you know, you're not the kind of guy I'm looking for in life, and that's fine. As for dating apps, the Golden Shield Project, which is the Great Firewall of China, the big restricted internet, kind of blocks Facebook and Google and YouTube. So, very strange there. So you can't use Facebook, and therefore you can't use Tinder. If you use a VPN, you can use Facebook and Tinder, but if you are using Tinder, then you are more likely to find an English-speaking girl, which is very useful because Chinese is really hard to learn. Really hard. Like, I'm nowhere near good enough to, like, have... I can have a basic greeting with someone. I can't have, like, a basic conversation with someone yet. I'm really bad at Chinese. And I can only recognize, like, a few characters. So, yeah. Having an English-speaking girl is so beneficial. And that's something you really, really need to find if you are planning to live in China or have, like, a Chinese girlfriend. So Tinder's, like, a very good place to, like, try and find them. However, you can use Tantan, the Chinese version, which I've used a lot. I met my girlfriend through it. And my normal, like, first line to someone is, I wonder if I can actually, like, get it in Chinese on my phone. Hold on, give me, like, one moment, because I say this so much. Typing. So, in English, it's, hello, can you speak English? In Chinese, it's 你好,你会说英语吗? Which may not actually be correct. But whatever. So it's something like that. And that's like, hello, can you speak English? And normally they'll reply something like, no, I can't, or a little. But that's fine. If they can speak a little English, that's good enough for me. And I'll continue talking to them. If they can't speak any English, then it's like, it's a lost cause, move on. Some girls are very nice on Tantan, some girls are very kind of like mean. One girl I've spoken to refers to a lot of people as just trash. And I'm like, I'm finding this very, like, aggressive. It's like I said about, like, she asked me, like, the people I work with, are they people that I would consider dating, or are they just trash? And I kind of said, like, they're nice people, but most of them have someone. And the ones that don't, I'm really not into. Not that I'm into the ones who have anyone. And she just called them all trash, and I was like, okay, whatever. You're not the kind of girl for me. Anyway. I haven't had the worst experience with a girl through Tantan. One of my friends from my intake group actually has. He was on the metro with this girl, and I don't know what happened, because I can't remember his story very well, and I think I was just focusing on eating at the time. And what the time was, because I had to go, like, to work after we all, like, caught up for lunch. So something happened when he was on the metro with this girl, and she started crying. And he went to, like, see if she was okay, and she was like, get away from me. She was really mad that he didn't care more, but she was, like, really fed up with him because of it, and just told him to, like, get away, and she just started crying, and all these Chinese people on the metro started, like, looking because they were causing a scene. And that's one thing you never do in China, make a scene. Never make a scene, guys, ever. It's really bad. Very boo-how. So yeah, that was like the worst experience I've heard. One other thing that's very important in Chinese dating scene is wealth, money, providing. The guy is expected to provide basically everything. It's changing, as far as I'm aware. Like, the younger generations kind of don't rely on the guy to do everything, but it's quite traditional to rely on that. So if you are trying to date a girl in China, they may ask you stuff like, oh, where do you work, how much do you earn, and stuff like that. And if you're earning a lot, they'll like you more. If you're earning not much, they'll be like, I think I'm gonna look for a guy who's richer than you. So in a sense, they are a bit a gold digger, but it's mostly so that they can have a wealthy provided for a family in the future. My current girlfriend doesn't actually care about this, mostly because she's not going to be living in China for much longer. She's actually leaving at the end of the month, and that makes me quite sad. I'll be a single man at the end of the month, ladies, or guys, whatever I'm into. You'll never know. You'll never know. Except you probably will. But I don't care. Anyway. So, how I met my girlfriend was actually through Tantan. We were talking... I didn't actually use the famous line of, "Hello, can you speak English?" Because her Tantan profile was flooded with English. I was like, I can just say whatever. But I saw she had insomnia as a problem listed on that. So I spoke to her about that. I have no idea why that was the starting point. This, like, I suffered from insomnia. I got over it by flying to China. Doing so, I had to actually stay up, oddly enough, for about 24 hours. Just because, like, I was super excited to fly to China, and then there was a bit of delay, and I was just, like, really, really awake for all of it. And I will say that Cairo was the worst experience of my life, because I was stuck in this airport that this international airport that didn't have anywhere that I could change my money. So I had to, like, find somewhere that accepted either Chinese RMB or my English pound sterling. And I'm there, like, where is anywhere that accepts this? Ah! And it made me kind of annoyed. And I found, like, one place, and I bought, like, a slice of pizza, and it was the driest thing I've ever put in my mouth. It was so bad. I just had a bad experience, and I was like, ugh. Anyway, so I basically said about, like, how I had to stay awake for a long time, and she was like, yeah, I'm not going to be flying anywhere just like, soonish. So I can't do that. And I was like, works for me. But after, like, a week of talking, we finally agreed to meet up. She told me that she had, like, one more week to be in Beijing before she moved back to Hunan, to the Hunan province where her family lives. And we agreed to meet up and be friends and have solely a meeting to be friends and all of that, just as friends. Oh dear, it didn't go to plan. So, we meet up and, you know, we're eating lunch, we're laughing because I like to make jokes and all of that. Like, I'm kind of funny in person. I make people laugh, and I like to have a good time. I'm very eccentric in person as well. Behind the camera and stuff, I get a bit nervous, so I don't appear as much, but obviously later in life, when I get more and more, like, comfortable with this sort of arrangement, I'll be, like, more eccentric, and you'll soon realize that I can be a bit much sometimes. Anyway, so we're, like, having a laugh, and she opens up to me, and she says, I know you like honesty. I'm very honest myself. Because we talked about it, and I was like, honesty is, like, the biggest thing for me. Like, I'm so honest. Like, if I honestly cheat on you, and you ask me, I'll tell you. It's not the smartest move, but I'll do it. Honesty above anything, guys. That's what I live for. So, she opened up to me and said that she sometimes meets up with foreigners just to have sex, which is very untraditional and very un-Chinese, and which really shocked me, because I then realized that maybe that's what she wants here, and I don't know if I want that. So lunch ended, she paid, which very much made me feel awkward, and we just were walking and talking, and I asked, like, you know, is this why you wanted to meet me, just for, like, the horizontal monster mash? And she was like, no, I don't really want that, we're just friends. She was like, I had that yesterday, like, I don't really want it right now, it's not in my mind. And then, like, after some more talking, we kind of agreed to, like, go for some drinks later. So that was interesting. So I go to work, I finish my day, and then we go back. Like, we meet up again, and Basically, she tells me a station to go to. I walk out of the station, and I don't know where she is, and I have to like find her. She only tells me that she's watching some people dance, and I'm like, okay. So when I leave the station, I can hear the music, and like I go over and I find her, and she's like, "You found me." I'm like, "Yeah, go me." So anyway, we were going for drinks, and we were talking more, and something just felt right then, and like basically we just kissed. And at that moment, like, I knew that I wanted to be with her, and she knew she wanted to be with me. So we kind of became a couple through that. Just like, we were really direct about it. I was like, "I like you, I would like to kiss you," and she was like, "I like you too, you can kiss me." And then we did, and then we just kind of like, it was really weird, because it's like, at that moment we were basically like, "Okay, I love you." Like, mutually, just at that moment we were like, "We're a couple now, I can't imagine not being with you." And since then, we've just been like so in love. But because she's currently like, she like had to leave to go to Hunan, and I felt very sad. And then she came back to Beijing for a few days to get some shots before she went to America. And then we met up again and stuff. She went back to Hunan. She's there right now. She'll come back to Beijing for a while before she leaves at the end of the month, and then I'll be a single man, because mutually we don't like we both don't enjoy the idea of long distance, and I don't think that she can manage missing me so much, and I don't think I can manage missing her a lot as well. So we just agreed to like break up when she goes to America, which is very sad. But it's just stuff like that that's very like respectful about feelings. Like, that's why I prefer the China scene. They're very much more direct about things, and very much more open to ideas. And they'll talk to you way more than a Western girl would. And I feel like I rambled like way too much about this, so I'm just gonna like stop talking here. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. I hope this gives you an insight to the dating world of China, and I'll see you soon.